Let's face it, the kind of thing that people are dragging off the internet nowadays, conspiracy theories, half-baked websites, TikTok and Instagram posts, a lot of it's garbage. You can find just about anything you want. If you believe something, you look it up online and you'll probably find that somebody said it. Now that's no way to think. That's fuzzy thinking. The question is, how can I think clearly? How can I know that my thought process is rigorous and not just intuitive? Well, to find an answer, why don't we go back to England, end of the 1500s, beginning of the 1600s, to Francis Bacon, famous scientist and philosopher. Now, Bacon came to the conclusion that after hundreds of years of education based on Roman and medieval principles, with Aristotle at the center, we had come to look at the world through idols. And by idols, he meant these superstitious figures that would determine our thinking. He didn't feel that heroes of the old world, like Aristotle, were offering a sufficiently rigorous thought process. And therefore, he basically revolutionized the way that we look at science and invented the scientific method. Bacon, in some of his wonderful texts like The Advancement of Learning and The New Atlantis, or the Novum Organum, came up with the following idea. He thought that a major problem was that we start everything with certainty, with belief, and not with questions. He said, if you start with certainty, you'll end with doubt. But if you start with doubt, you'll end with certainty. Here's how it works. Start with doubt, in other words, a question. How does that work? What would happen if? You should formulate that into a hypothesis, meaning a tentative statement, some sort of affirmation, but tentative. Then you test the hypothesis. You test it by running an experiment, and a good experiment will involve a control and an experiment group, pre-testing and post-testing. You gather data, information from that experiment, you formulate a conclusion, and you answer your question. Now that is the ancient scientific method according to Francis Bacon. Of course, it's changed since Bacon's day because of modern technology, subjects like astrophysics. We're able to use the imagination and data probes and pattern recognition in a new kind of way of developing the scientific method. But what's interesting is that Bacon really takes us into a structured process of thought. Question, hypothesis, test, results, conclusion, the scientific method. And that's how you can come up with a more certain conclusion. He realized that knowledge, therefore, when it's structured, is incredibly powerful. In fact, he came up with this famous phrase, knowledge is power. Now, unfortunately for Bacon, he loved experimenting so much that he stuffed a chicken with snow and caught a cold and died. So the pursuit of knowledge, albeit powerful, can actually lead you somewhere sticky. How can I think clearly? Well, not by just believing the first thing I see, but by asking questions, testing hypotheses, being a bit more rigorous and structured. Knowledge is power, thanks to Francis Bacon.